Did I just post my summer book haul? Yes. Immediately after, did I proceed to begin a new book haul? Also yes. Hi guys, it's Mo from Mo Reads It, and today we're doing my bookstore haul. I bought 10 books, even though I only had the intention of buying 3. Welcome to my bookstore haul. So let's start with the 3 books I was actually supposed to get from the bookstore. So I went to the bookstore to get The Wicked King by Holly Black, as well as The Queen of Nothing. This is part of the Crow Prince series. I recently read Crow Prince this July, and I was like, I need the other 2 books. I want to annotate and write on them. I did a whole vlog on it. Hopefully by the time this video is up, the vlog will also be up. But yeah, I really wanted to have physical copies of these books, even though they didn't hit 5 stars for me. I feel like my heart wants to give them 5 stars because I really just cannot stop thinking about the story. I cannot stop thinking about it. I'm still somewhat confused about everything that went on in it, but I did read it like through a 3-day binge in which I did not do much sleeping, so that could be why I don't remember much of it. So I'm considering a reread, and I'm really happy I got the physical copies now. So these were the 2 books that I went to the bookstore to actually get, and yeah, I left with like 8 more books. Oh well. So Crow Prince is a bully romance. It has ACOTAR vibes, but better story writing, and the plot is more consistent within these books, especially within Wicked King, The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing. It is also a high fantasy romance. I say read it at least once. It was very fun. It was a good ride for me. It's definitely under that whole if fairy life was reality TV type genre, but it still entertained me. I had fun, and I still can't stop thinking about these books. Maybe eventually I'll give them 5 stars, but I have so many critiques of the series that I just cannot. I can't give it 5 stars yet. I hope she adds more books to the series, but I don't think she is. I think the trilogy is complete and has been completed for a while. It just took me a long time to actually get to these books, and I'm so excited to begin tabbing these 2. The next book I got was The Goated Wolves. I really wanted to pick up this book. This is my book pick of the month for July, so I was trying to read it on my Kindle. I cannot read anything digital right now, and I cannot listen to audiobooks right now. I am in a mini reading slump, and I didn't want to admit it to myself, but I really am, and I hope all these physical books snap me out of that reading slump so quickly, because I need reading entertainment in my life. It's my self-care, it's my Muniki time. I want a good fantasy romance, and I hope this delivers. I'm kind of going into this one blind because it is my book pick of the month, so I'm not going to read the synopsis to y'all, but I've heard great reviews about this on BookTok, but I've also heard horrible reviews about this on BookTube, so we shall see. It really depends on where people's interest lies. I hope my interest lies in enjoyment, because I really need that right now. The next 2 books I picked up are the sequel and the finale to Caraval. So I read Caraval like at the beginning of the year, and I thought it was okay. I gave it like a 4 star, but everyone's like, you need to read the rest of the trilogy, and you have to read Once Upon a Broken Dream. So I'm gonna try to get through the original trilogy, because I believe Once Upon a Broken Dream is a spin-off of this universe, and I want to read the original universe first. But I got the next 2 books in the series because I cannot do anything digital right now. That's one of the reasons I got it. And if I really like this, I will go back and get Caraval, but I did read Caraval on Kindle, so we shall see. I've heard great things about Stephanie Garber. When I read Caraval last time, I remember thinking it was everything I expected the Night Circus to be and more. It's pretty much about a circus. It's very much Willy Wonka vibes, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, whimsical, magical, new parallel magic universe, and I was here for it. I enjoyed all of that stuff. The only thing I did not like was, I feel like the plot was somewhat predictable, and I wanted more chemistry romance with the main couple. But I heard it gets better in these 2, so I'm ready for it. Y'all know me and my fantasy romances. So these are the next 2 books I got for my book haul. And then I was in Barnes & Noble so long, and I had such a huge stack of books in my hand that a sales associate came up to me to help me carry my books in a basket. And she was like, have you read this book yet? And I was like, no, I haven't read it yet. And she's like, read it. Read this book. It is so good. Adrienne Young is great. She also wrote Fable. I really enjoyed Fable, and Namesake. They're like 4-star books for me. Very readable, very good. And I've heard a lot about Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young, and I really wanted to read it, and she was like, read it, you should read it, I think you're gonna like it based off the books you already have in your basket. And I was like, you know what, it's buy one get one half off, so it's coming home with me. I'm going into it kind of blind as well, so I will not read the synopsis for this one. I'm excited for it. I love when I get to talk to other readers and book lovers about books and books I should read and enjoy, because sometimes it's not even about enjoying the experience of reading the book, it's enjoying the experience of reading the book and having another person to like potentially talk to about it. If I read this book and I really enjoy it, I have no problems like next time in Barnes & Noble I'm like, hey, remember that book you told me to read? It was amazing. Thank you. More recommendations, please. I'm excited for this one. That's the first one she told me to read. Then she told me to read Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. I read, I think it's Sorcery of Thorns. That was my first Margaret Rogerson's book. I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I just wanted more fantasy romance part and less plot part. I feel like the plot was a very huge driving point for that book. She said that book was her favorite, and because it had less romance in it, but this one has more romance in it, so most likely I'll like this one more. So I'm really excited to read it. I'm getting fairy vibes from it, but I'm not sure if it has any fairies in it. Oh, fair folk. It has fairies in it. So Enchantment of Ravens is about Isabel. She is a prodigy portrait artist with dangerous clients. The immortal fair folk. You know what? I might just turn this month into a month of fae books. But when she receives her first royal patron, Rook, the Autumn Prince, we love an Autumn Prince, she makes a terrible mistake. She paints mortal sorrow in his eyes, a weakness that could cost him his life. Because of this, the Autumn Prince steals her away into his world to stand trial for her crimes. But once they arrive there, they're attacked on each side and forced to depend on each other for survival. I love a forced survival story. If you guys read Under the Never Sky, it's a forced romance survival story. It's one of my favorite books ever. I love that book. It is so underrated. It's so simple and it's such a subtle story, but I love it so much. Okay, I'm really excited for this one. I love forbidden love and magic and fair folk, so this might be next on my TBR. But that's Enchantment of Ravens. The last book she told me to read was Serpent and Dove. I don't know much about this book. I heard mixed reviews about it on BookTube and BookTok and Bookstagram, but I'm willing to try it out. She said that this one's a fantasy romance, and I was just like, oh, I didn't know that. So I'm excited for it. I am going to go into it blind since so many people had such bad reviews of it. I don't want to become too influenced by what potentially is the plot in this. I just want to go into it fully blind, so I won't be giving you guys the plot on this one. But the next book that I hauled is A Deal with the Elf King, another fae book. I'm excited for this one because I've heard of Elsie Kova. She wrote another book that I've been meaning to read forever. I just hate the cover of it. Like, the cover of it, every time I go to read this book, it's been on my TBR for months, and every month I'm like, I'm gonna read it this month, I'm gonna read it this month. Never read it, ever, because every time I see that cover, it just really bothers me and I cannot get immersed in the story. I always make it like 8 to 12 pages in and I dip out because the cover is just, I don't know, that cover bothers me. This cover, I like it way more. I think it's better by a landslide. So I hope I like this book. Plus it'll introduce me to her writing style, and this is a fae book indeed, so maybe I'll just have a month of fae. I did the Cruel Prince this month. That's 3 fae books. Then I have the Enchantment of Ravens. That's another fae book. And my last but not least fae book is These Twisted Bonds by Lexi Ryan. This is the sequel to These Hollow Vows, and this is one of the main reasons I went to the bookstore. I really wanted the sequel to These Hollow Vows. I'm actually doing a reread of These Hollow Vows right now. I'm like 112 pages in, so that I can have the storyline straight in my head, so that I can adequately tab this one and understand it better, because I actually started reading it and I did not know what was happening. I was kind of lost, so I was like, I need to do a reread. I'm too lost. So I'm doing my tabbing process right now, and I'm writing in the margins, and I'm hopefully going to be able to give you guys an annotation dump of these 2 books, and I'm considering doing a reading vlog on each of them depending on how much time I have, but I'm itching for it. These Hollow Vows is very much so an ACOTAR type book. Even has kind of like a Rice Annie character, and it's in the fae world, and it's totally reality TV for fae people. Is the plot always there? No. Is it an enjoyable ride? Yes. So I'm here for it. I read this book when I was really sick in February and my illness was like just spiraling out of control, and I was able to read this and it brought me so much joy and happiness. So I'm excited to actually be able to read it now that I can physically read it. Back then I couldn't read it physical because I was so dizzy I couldn't read anything. I listened to this book pretty much 90% audio because February was the month of me being dizzy. So I was so happy to be able to have some type of entertainment while I was stuck in bed, and it just made me so happy. So I'm excited to actually be able to physically read this tab disc, write my notes on it, and just enjoy the process of being a reader. Which is why I'm so excited for these hollow vows, for these twisted bonds. And because I had such a spree at the bookstore, I even got a cute little book tote. And it's so adorable. It has little names of little books on them, like Through the Looking Glass, Romeo and Juliet, Pride and Prejudice. It's gorgeous. I love this book tote. It can only hold about 4 to 5 books, which is not a lot in terms of like going on a book spree, but for everyday bag tote, it's pretty convenient. And I had such a good bookstore spree. It was amazing. I even ended up getting the Barnes & Noble like membership card so that I can come back and go on another book spree, but I don't know what's happening to me. But all these hauls are a lot, so I should probably put myself on a book buying ban, but I will not be. Next month is my birthday and I plan on buying more books. I'm not even gonna lie about that. So I look forward to that for August, and I think that buying these books and having them in physical copy for me to read is going to kick me out of this book slump, because I don't have many books that are fantasy romance to read. So I'm excited for that. And that's all, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed this bookstore spree. Be sure to subscribe, and remember I am now on TikTok, Bookstagram, Instagram, and that's all my socials actually, besides YouTube. Be sure to follow me there, and remember I'm here every Friday. Be sure to subscribe, and as always, happy reading, y'all. Bye.